Please be seated.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Ron.
This is a case of Hulsinger v. Maye.
Thank you, Ron. Good day, everyone.
Good day.
Ms. Hulsinger, you petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that the defendant is the father of your 2-year-old son, Gabriel. You say Mr. Maye has abandoned his responsibilities and he will get the truth today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Maye, you claim you were pressured into signing the birth certificate and now you are stuck with a woman who foolishly believes you are her child's father. Is that correct? So you're not doing anything for this child right now?
I'm out of the child's life right now.
The child's 2 years old?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you agree? Nothing, Ms. Hulsinger?
He hasn't done anything for my son at all. He missed his first steps, him calling his first words, which was dad. He's just not there, you know, and it's hurting me because it's hurting my son. And it's sad.
I have my doubts though, Your Honor.
How did you meet?
I met him off the chat line. I was lonely, so I decided to call and try to basically find something to do.
Yeah, she found something to do and we end up messing around too fast, you know what I mean? Too fast and...
Right, that's what I don't understand about these chat lines, Ron. It's supposed to be chatting.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did it get?
The chatting and things start happening.
So then you met her? Obviously.
Yes, ma'am.
Take me to the night in question where all the chatting turned into paternity court material.
Your Honor, it was a late night. She was one of the young ladies who was on at the other end of the line and left me a message. I left her a message and we ended up hooking up.
Do you remember that first night, Ms. Hulsinger?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you use protection?
No, Your Honor.
So what happened when you got to the point where you realized you were pregnant?
I called him and told him that it was a possibility of me having his child.
That wasn't how it went.
Yes, it is.
No. Months and months passed by, and then she just told me that she was pregnant.
Were you all still in a sexual relationship all the time?
Yes, Your Honor.
How many months is that?
I think about 4 months.
I need details.
Yes, ma'am. She called me one day. She told me she was pregnant.
And what did you say?
For the most part, I was cool with it. You know, I'm a man of my word. I take care of all my kids, you know what I'm saying? So when she told me she was pregnant, I was gonna be there for her.
And were you happy? Were you saying, oh, I'm gonna have another child?
I was excited.
You're lying.
Why is he lying, Ms. Hulsinger? What was his response? Is he lying about that too?
He was like, are you serious? Are you sure it's mine?
Did you have doubts in the beginning, Mr. Maye?
No, I did not in the beginning.
Yes, you did.
Not in the beginning. She told me her word. I took her word for what it was. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't.
That's not true.
That's not true.
At what point did you say to yourself, I may not be the only possible father here?
That came a time when I was over her house. One time we was upstairs in her room and hearing beep, 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 beep outside, and you know, it didn't leave. So she was asking me, was I ready to leave? So got to go downstairs and I'm about to go out the back door. She told me to go out the front door. So I say, no, let me go on out the back door. Open up the back door, there's a gentleman right there.
Really?
And he asked me, was I there for Mrs. Hulsinger? I told him I wasn't there for Mrs. Hulsinger. I was there for one of her family members, and I proceeded to walk on out the door while she hid behind the refrigerator.
Oh, you saw her hiding?
Yeah.
Were you hiding behind the refrigerator, Ms. Hulsinger?
Yes, ma'am, I was, because... Yes, ma'am, I was, because...
In your own house?
Yes, ma'am, because this man would not leave me
alone.
For? And I did not want to deal with him. And he would just pop up all the time, and I just didn't want to deal with that.
Who is this guy?
And at the time, she's pregnant.
It's a guy that I used to mess with, and I had cut it off with him totally. So that basically what put a wedge between me and him.
That wasn't the only thing, though, Your Honor.
Oh, what else?
I mean, I'm not too heavy of a sleeper, so at the time, you know, I'm spending the night with her. I'm seeing messages pop up on the phone. That led me to doubt, too. Not only the backdoor situation, but just text messages, you know what I mean? Things I would hear on the streets and things of that nature.
So you were also hearing rumors. I need you to be specific.
A mutual friend had told me that he had been involved with Miss Hulsinger. You know what I mean?
And who was that? I wasn't even in a relationship, so why would I have to hide somebody's
Why was she hiding
name and a
herself,
number?
Your Honor? Why was she hiding herself from when the dude knocked on the back door? She wasn't.
Because he was my stalker.
Okay, so bottom line is you were hearing rumors, you saw messages on her phone.
Guys knocking at the back door, Your Honor.
Guys knocking at the back door. This is all while she's pregnant and you all are still seeing each other.
Yes.
And so you thinking to yourself, you might not be the only father here.
I kind of scratched my head and thought that.
So when you actually went into labor?
Yes, ma'am, he wasn't there for me. My family member actually had to go and get him so he could come up there and see my son.
Oh, so they went to go get him.
And I had my doubts. That's why I wasn't willing to just go catch the bus or get a ride or anything. So.
But what I don't understand, Mr. Maye, is if you are sleeping with her the entire pregnancy and you know that there is a potential that the child could be yours, even if your spidey sense has been activated and you've seen other, why wouldn't you show up for the birth?
I had my doubts, Your Honor. I really had my doubts.
But the doubts don't prevent you from making it to the bed, but they prevent you from making it to the birth. If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. In your court papers, I see here, it says you signed the birth certificate too.
Yes,
How did that happen?
Pressure.
So
I'm getting, he has your nose, he has your head. What you gonna do now? This, that. And I'm just like, let me just be a man. Let me sign the birth certificate. If it's mine, I'm gonna deal with it.
Because at that point, her family has come and picked you up.
Yes.
And you didn't call for this ride.
No, I didn't call for nothing.
Did you know when you signed that birth certificate, did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
That you would be now
Yes, Your Honor.
the legal father of this child?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you did it anyway?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Hulsinger, this photo was submitted to the court. It is Mr. Maye with little beautiful baby, Gabriel. I don't see a lot of doubt in this photo.
Cause it ain't. Cause he know that baby is his, Your Honor. And it's really hurting me that he's not stepping up to be a man. My son needs his father. And it hurts me. And, you know, and I know I'm part of the blame because I know I wasn't in a relationship with him and that, you know, I was doing my own thing too, as well as him. You know, because he was out there doing what he wanted to do, too.
With me doing what I'm doing has nothing to do with her affecting her having
Well, that part I'll give you. You really can't go tit for tat with a man.
And that's
in that way, because, let me talk.
I'm sorry.
I'm saying something that benefits you.
Yes, ma'am.
Ultimately, they can make this claim, and it is true, that they can sleep around all over town, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
But when you do, and you get pregnant, you don't know who your child's father is. There's a difference. There's a different burden women carry. That's just ours. You know what I mean?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you said you were out there doing you, and you admitted it. So why are you so sure he is the biological father?
He signed the birth certificate.
Well, that doesn't make him the biological father.
The whole pregnancy, and I know I didn't sleep with nobody else.
Your Honor.
Right after, basically, even when I first began to sleep with him, I never slept with anybody else.
I need some proof. I need to understand how you came to this conclusion.
Because I have the...
You do. Ron, can you hand me that, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Her evidence.
Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Maye.
I received a phone call. I don't remember the guy's name. He said he was the father. And
you got a phone call from another guy that said he was the father?
Another man that she told him that they were going to have a happy family together and move away.
That's a lie.
Really? Who is this person?
I told you he was a stalker, and he just pops up anytime I was moving.
Your Honor.
Oh, that's the same guy from the refrigerator
Yes,
seat?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
No.
And he stole my phone.
Hold on. So you're saying it's a different guy from the refrigerator incident?
Totally different guy.
No,
Total
it's the
different
same guy. It's the same guy.
If he stole your phone, how did he know to call Mr. Maye?
Because I told him that, you know what I'm saying, look, I'm pregnant. I don't need this in my life. And I guess he stole the phone and called him and made up a whole bunch of lies because he knew that I was not trying to mess with him.
But he knew he could possibly be the father too. He knew that.
Because he told you that?
Yes.
Did you tell someone else they could possibly be the father, Miss Hulsinger?
No, I didn't, but I also told him, you know what I'm saying, I wasn't sure.
You're wavering. No, that's not what you just said. That's not what you testified to earlier. The truth is that there was an issue with regard to who the biological father was of this child.
Yes, Your Honor. And I
Okay, let me look at this evidence. You've presented me with a calendar, and it gives me the day you were intimate with Mr. Maye.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that would be January 26th.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you believe you conceived on January 28th.
I believe I conceived on the 28th.
Okay, so that's Mr. Maye. Were you intimate with anyone else around these dates?
Maybe a week between.
Oh, which week?
I would say the week of the 13th.
So the week of the 13th, you were intimate with refrigerator guy?
Yes, Your Honor.
So this calendar was missing some significant information, because if you were intimate with the refrigerator guy the whole week of the 13th, that is very close to the window of conception that you lined up for Mr. Maye. Yep. So how do we know this other guy isn't the child's biological father?
Your Honor, I don't think she really knows, because there was a time where she gave me some money to keep Gabriel, and then
gave you money to keep him.
Hold on, let me. I'm gonna break it down.
Only to help.
Hold on, I'm gonna break it down. At the end of the week, I finally get a hold of Miss Hulsinger, and she tells me I always had my doubts about him being a father. That's why I gave you the $100 so you could just be the babysitter. I'm on my way to pick him up right now.
I never even told you that.
So I tell her, no, you ain't gotta pick him up. I'm gonna go ahead and drop him off. So lo and behold, I just want to be sure. So I call her a few times after, I dropped him off. Family member of hers, why you keep calling her? Do we have to call the police on you for stalking her? He ain't your son. We told you he wasn't your son. So at that point, I left it alone. It was over with.
So your family member did tell him that he was not the child's father?
No, they did not say that.
They told me that I wasn't
They said for him to just leave me alone because he was very belligerent.
But you had dropped the baby off over there. How is he gonna leave you alone and he has the baby?
I
dropped the baby off, and it was over to me.
So when's the last time you saw Gabriel?
Since I actually, held him, and
yes,
it's been a long time. Then So
Ms. Hulsinger, has this other guy seen Gabriel?
Yeah, because he barged in one day, and
why does he?
Because he's a
stalker. Don't you lock your door? Why is he always at your door and barging in?
I have 2 other small children, and they let him in. And I tried to stay away from him, but he would not leave me alone.
When he thinks about my dad, he thinks about Mr. Maye?
Yes, Your Honor.
You know he calls you dad?
A few times she didn't call me and, told me that. But here's my thing. Did he call the other guy dad?
No, not at all.
Because, see, it was a test before it was mine. She had another guy tested.
You had another man tested?
Yes, Your Honor.
So wait a minute now. You just said to me earlier, Ms. Hulsinger, now you need to just tell the truth. From the beginning, you knew there was more than one possible father.
Yes, Your Honor.
You had this gentleman tested.
Yes, Your Honor.
What type of test? A home test?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so, do you have the results here with you?
No, I don't.
Did you ever see these results, Mr. Maye?
Mom said she's seen them, but I didn't get a chance to see. And she said it kind of looked kind of shaky a little bit, so she didn't really believe Miss Hulsinger, and she told me that I should, get a DNA test for the little boy because he doesn't deserve to not know who his father is. It's not his fault.
All right. Well, one thing's for sure. This court has ordered and you have submitted to a legitimate test, and I have the results for you. Ron, I'm ready.
Here you go, Your Honor.
Thank you. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Hulsinger versus Maye, when it comes to 2-year-old Gabriel Maye, Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. It has been determined by this court. Mr. Maye, you are the father. Good news.
Yes, ma'am.
Great.
He has a great father.
Listen.
I can't tell.
Listen, it's amazing when I think about you all saying you just were feeling lonely and didn't know what to do with yourself, so you just called a chat line. And to go from a chat line, literally, to standing before me in this courtroom, it says a lot. Lack of responsibility, no safe sex, lack of accountability, because you signed that birth certificate. If you're man enough to do that, be man enough to be there till you get the test. Because now Gabriel's 2.
I have my doubts, Your Honor.
I get that. The problem is you stepped up, then stepped back. And that is difficult for a child. And Ms. Hulsinger, I'm telling you, you weaved a wicked web. I mean, parts of your story were going left, the other parts were going right. You were not telling the truth the whole time. And that's why he had doubt. You've got to honor the part you had to play as well. All right? So most importantly, let's focus on Gabriel now. Beautiful little boy. Would you like to see him?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's make that happen.
Yes.
Court is adjourned.
You know, I missed the first 3 years of his life, and I'm not gonna miss the rest of it.